to forget? Did you hear me singing with every step? Like the radio singing songs in your mind, telling stories of that fateful time. Now are you free? Are you free? Are you free? Are you free? Please tell me, how did you get there? Baby, are you free? 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 Please tell me, how did you get there? Baby, are you free? Did you build a time capsule? Did you stay up late? Taking down careful notes of time, place, and date. I tried to describe our love with a paper and pen. Message in a bottle thrown to the wind. Now are you free? Are you free? Are you free? Are you free? Please tell me, how to get there. Baby, are you free? Did you throw it all into the raging river? Did you wait for rain or a windy day? Did you blow a kiss to our love as it set sail? Just a little prayer, it might reach land someday. Now are you free? Are you free? Are you free? Are you free? Please tell me, how to get there. Baby, are you free? 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 Please tell me, how to get there. Baby, are you free? All right. So I'm literally relearning how to play with a flat pick on stage in front of you right now. So that's exciting. All right, this next tune is the first one I ever wrote on ukulele. I discovered the ukulele in, I believe it was 2007. I've been playing guitar since I was 14 or 13, and I don't know when that was. Math right now. 1996 or so, I started playing guitar. Anyhow, I went on my first trip out of the United States to Haiti on a humanitarian clown mission as part of a kind of 4-credit service trip for college. And my mentor, actually we're doing humanitarian clowning, like I said, so, you know, kind of weird stuff in the form, weird activism, yeah. I'll tell you more about that later, and if you'd like to learn more about it, you can go to my website. There's some info on that, but that's when I picked up the ukulele, because it's a much easier instrument to travel with, and you can take it into hospitals, you can carry it around town, throw it in your bag, you know, climb a tree with it, whatever you want to do. Use it as a paddle, you know, if you got to. It's very multi-purpose. Not only that, but just the sight of a ukulele. Now this is quite a fancy one. It's a little bit a step above what you think of as the traditional ukulele, but the sight of it brings people joy, even if you're not even playing it. So that's this is the first song I ever wrote on the ukulele. It's called "How You Been," and I'm going to ask you to help me out. I think you all just kind of latched onto that last one with the singing part. Thank you. I'm going to say "How you been," and I want you to say "How you been" in response. Let's try it. How you been? Nice. The only trick is I want you to sound like yourself instead of sounding like me. Let's give it a try. How you been? Nice. All right, here we go. 1, a 2, a 1, 2, 3, 4. you been? It's been a long time since you didn't want to be my friend. You just walked away, didn't say you'd ever be back again. How you been? It's been a long time since you told me it has to end. You know, times have changed, feelings rearranged, we could be friends again. We used to sit by the riverside, just making songs and feeling high. Then the storm came one day and blew us away. Didn't know what to do or what to say, except how you been. You know I'll always consider you my friend, even though you walk away and you never say if you'll ever be back again. In the city lights, just watching people as they go by. Then the traffic came one day and scared us away. That's when you told me that you couldn't stay. So how you been? It's been a long time since you didn't want to be my friend. You just walked away, never said you'd ever be back again. How you been? It's been a long time since you told me it has to end. You know, times have changed, feelings rearranged, we could be friends again. Thank you. Now you're going to have to be very patient with my tuning tonight. It's probably going to happen quite frequently. All right, because that's another thing I forgot tonight, was a tuner. So I tuned by ear off stage, and now I'm tuning with the tuner on stage. It's funny, when I first got started, I did a lot of performing at the open mic in Floyd County at the Pine Tavern on Sunday nights. And I just was lifted up by those people. You know, I always had to find someone who could drive because I was 14. I couldn't drive yet. And they always found, even if the list was full, they found a way to fit me in. And yeah, it was really quite the experience. But I never used a tuner for the first 15 years of my career or something, 10 years. I mean, I was so stubborn. First of all, I never let my mother get me guitar lessons. No, I'm going to teach it myself, you know. And so I did. I didn't take guitar lessons till I was about 25 or so. But yeah, I never used a tuner. I just always tuned to the air, is what I said. Eventually, some musicians I was playing with straightened me out on that one. They were like, well, you just got to use it. Just get a tuner. Okay. But yeah, I'm playing with my bass player, who I've been playing with since high school. And he basically taught me how to play with other people and how to play in like a format instead of improvisationally different every time. We're playing together at the Parkway Brewing Company this Sunday from 1:30 to 4:30. It's a lovely open air venue, so if you're around and you want to check it out, then afterwards it's going to be the Acoustic Kind. They're also a local band who really lifted me up in the beginning of my career. They had me guest on stage with them a whole bunch, and so we decided to book this gig together. A day of music, musicians who are friends with each other, playing at the Parkway. So that's this coming Sunday, September the 18th, from 1:30 to 4:30, and the Kind, I think, is 5 to 8 or something like that, or 5:30 to 8. All right, what else do we got on the ukulele? This next song is from my second album. It's called I Choose You. Sometimes you do something about it, sometimes it does itself for you. There are some things in life you can't choose. I looked into your eyes, no surprise, I knew you right away. When I am with you, I feel whole. You are a mirror, reflection to my soul. Sometimes you do something about it, because it's what you have to do. There are some things in life I will choose, and I choose you. I choose you. I choose you, you, you. There is a rainbow stretched across the sky, begins in your heart and ends in mine. Sometimes you do something about it, sometimes it does itself for you. There are some things in life that will choose you. Life will choose you. It will choose you. Life will choose you, you, you. It will choose you. Life will choose you. Life will choose you, you, you. Okay. Let's see. Well, okay. I'm going to play the song now that caused me to acquire a banjo from an audience member. I used to say, this is my fake banjo playing song. And I'm not really playing, claw hammer on the uke right now, which is a thing that people do, and I've tried it, but this is kind of more like a picking style banjo. And but this is a very, very old song. It's probably more than 500 years old. Probably like maybe even more than 900 years old. And that's the amazing thing about these songs. They just travel. They have a very long life. They live longer than humans do. And they use the humans as their vessels to travel around through time and space and, historical events and all these things. So this is called Sinking in the Lonesome Sea, and the Carter family recorded this song. But again, it was an old ballad. It has many names. There's probably 4 different versions of this song with 4 different names. The Golden Vanity, Something Trinity, Sweet Trinity. Those are the only 2 I can think of right now, but there's some other names. I'll go ahead and I'll do like a tiny little bit of the Golden Vanity so you can hear maybe what the unaccompanied ballad may have sounded like, and then I'll play for you the musical kind of more bluegrassy version. Ship and it sailed upon the sea, and she went by the name of the Mary Golden Tree. And she sailed upon the lowland, lowland, low. She sailed upon the lowland sea. And they hadn't been sailing but 2 weeks or 3 when they were overtaken by the Turkish revelry. And they sank into the lowland, lowland, low. They sank into the lowland sea. I can do this after all. Okay, I'll try. There was a little ship, and it sailed upon the sea, and she went by the name of the Mary Golden Tree, and she sailed upon the lonesome low. Oh, she sailed upon the lonesome sea. There was a little sailor unto his captain said, "Oh, captain, captain, oh, what you give to me if I sink her in the lonesome road, if I sink her in the lonesome sea." $200 I will give unto thee, and my oldest daughter I'll wed unto you, if you sink her in the lonesome road, if you sink her in the lonesome sea. This one pick thing is really messing me up. Hold on. Let's just try it like this. He bowed his head, and away swam he, till he came to the ship of the Turkish revelry, and he sank her in the lonesome load. Oh, he sank her in the lonesome sea. If it wasn't for the love of your daughter and your men, I would do unto you as you did unto them. I would sink you in the lonesome load. I would sink you in the lonesome sea. There it is. Woo! So he just talked back to him. Let's just take a moment and reflect on what's happening in the story here. So back in the day, they'd have a little ship boy that they would, had to be a good swimmer. And they would tie with a belt, kind of a railroad tie size nail to his belt. And then he would swim off and drive the nail into the enemy ship, and hopefully he would make it back. But maybe not. That was just kind of part of his job. So he just went off, and with the promise of $200 and the captain's oldest daughter, he successfully sank the ship, and he even came back, but the first thing he said was, "If it wasn't for the love of your daughter and your men, I'd do unto you as you did unto them. I would sink you in the lonesome low. Sink you in the lonesome sea. My oldest daughter, I will not wed to thee, and $200 I will not give to you. I will sink you in the lonesome low. I would sink you in the lonesome sea." He bowed his head, and away swam he. Farewell, farewell to the Mary Golden Tree. Guess what? Now I'm sinking in the lonesome low. Now I'm sinking in the lonesome sea. All right, enough of that. Enough of that. I want to thank you all for coming out, and I never explained the PayPal thing, so I noticed that actually my PayPal, you didn't post my PayPal, but if you would, please do post the PayPal with a little disclaimer next to it that please, please, please figure out how to send it as a friend gift It's a setting that's right underneath where you put the money amount. And it's a very small text. You know, it's not an obvious button, but it's directly underneath where you put the money amount. If you switch it, it's automatically on paying for a product or service. You have to switch it to paying for a gift for a friend. And that would be gratefully helpful. I would be so grateful if you use PayPal, if you would do that. Otherwise, we may have to like chat later and go through the process of me teaching you how to do that and do a refund. And it's difficult. It's difficult. So anyway, PayPal, Venmo's better. And I think all that info is online, but also on my sign here. But PayPal if you must. If you have questions about how to use PayPal and you really want to send a donation that way, you can send me an email or just send me a message on Facebook, and I'll walk you through it later. So very much appreciate your support, though. So in whatever way you can, yeah, it just means a lot to be here. Yes?
Tell them where they can find Aid Music, webpage, Facebook, and all the places they can download.
Yeah, so it's Ash Devine Music on Facebook. That's ASHDEVINE Music. And that's also my Venmo. It's my Instagram. It's my PayPal. It's everything. Ash Devine Music. Make sure you spell it correctly. There's no E in Ash, but there is 2 E's. There are 2 E's in Divine. Okay? Not 2 I's. Just 1 I. 1 I and 2 E's. All right. I had a couple major festivals misprint my name this year, so I'm still putting honey in my tea to cut the bitterness from that. Okay. All right, so I moved back here on surprise in 2020, and I think that's when, I played a concert here first, and then I did Tunes for Tuesdays later. I did that live stream from where I was staying. But this was a special, I think it was my first gig since the pandemic began, was out here. And so that was something special. I'm pretty sure it was winter. I remember it being cold. And anyhow, I wrote a number of songs right around that time. And I hadn't been writing much at all for many years. So I've got a couple pandemic songs to share with you now. And this one's called Something Out of Nothing. And, you know, I guess I'll talk more while my guitar refuses to be in tune. I moved here very unexpectedly. The rug up. I was one of those people, the rug got pulled out from under me after 16 years in Asheville, North Carolina. It was like I woke up one day and it was like none of those 16 years had ever happened. That's kind of how it felt when I came back here. That was pretty devastating for me. And I had a wonderful garden that I left behind in Asheville and had put so much love and time and money into for the 2 years leading up to the pandemic. And then when I came here, I had a garden project with a friend. I wasn't expecting to be as hard as it ended up being. Red clay and rocks. You know, we made all these plans for months about what we were going to plant, but I never realized first we're going to have to spend a month actually digging the beds. So this is called Something Out of Nothing. Just got into town, nothing but loss on my back. I left my homestead that I loved so dear. You know, just last summer, I used to watch the garden grow. Now I'm toiling in new soil with sweat and tears. Yeah, I'm digging through the red clay. It's so sticky and so hard. I'm pulling back the brambles In some old junkyard, some forgotten garden bed, somebody's pastime. I'm sorting through the rocks and trying to calm my mind. Gotta make something out of nothing, something out of nothing, 'cause everything begins with no thing. Gotta make something out of nothing, something out of nothing, 'cause everything begins with no thing. Well, I used to have a house, I used to have a job, I used to have a lover, I even had a dog. But now I am a stranger in a life I used to know. But my hand is on a shovel and I'm learning to let go. Gotta make something out of nothing, something out of nothing, 'cause everything begins with no thing. Gotta make something out of nothing, something out of nothing. Everything begins with no thing. How many ways can one person toil? And how many days must I work in rocky soil? And how will I find the strength to start again? Turning these rocks into soil and build fire out of ash. Grow trees in a desert, turn bankruptcy into cash. I'm making hate into love and silence into sound. I will make this wasteland into fertile ground. Gotta make something out of nothing, something out of nothing, 'cause everything begins with no thing. Gotta make something out of nothing, something out of nothing. Everything begins with no thing. We will make this wasteland into fertile ground. Thank you. Yes. Do we have, you gonna do a magic trick?
Yes, I'm going to do a magic trick. We're gonna make something out of nothing here. Actually, we're going to make something out of some fine music. So for those who are in-house, after the next song, I'm going to pass the hat. And again, that's how we show our performers how we love them and how much we appreciate what goes into their craft and sharing it with us tonight. For those who are on the internet, I believe we may have a link in the comments. I'm not sure on that. Aspen tells me we do, and there's a sign up front that gives you the address for both the PayPal and the Venmo, I believe.
Yes, and then this sign here says Cash App as well.
Cash App, holy
some
cow.
young new,
Yeah,
college
yeah.
students seem to like to use that one sometimes.
Hey, these kids, what can you do? Anyway, we appreciate what you're bringing tonight, and we're going to pass the hat and show you how much.
Thank you. Thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for having me. And let's give a round of applause for the 3rd Street Coffee House and all they do for the folk music community. So important. So during the pandemic, I moved 6 times. Packed up my house in Asheville, put it in a storage unit, got rid of most of it, fit what I could in my Prius, and another friend's car who came to help me get to Virginia. And I couldn't find housing. I had to move every couple months from sublet to sublet during that time because I didn't have, couldn't afford to pay $1,000 for an apartment by myself. Anyhow, so I wrote this song about housing crisis, and I've experienced that for a long time, living in Asheville and, being a renter. Bob, when you mentioned all the things you have to do as a homeowner, well, sometimes you have to do all those things as a renter, too, because the homeowner is not doing it. So anyhow, this is a song about my experience of housing crisis, but also kind of the broader issue and the sort of big corporation landlord take over the town, gentrify everything kind of problem that is getting ever so worse in this country and causing houses to be so expensive that no one in my generation can even dream of buying one unless they have inherited wealth. So, here you go. Dear landlord. Dear landlord, I got a bone to pick. The way you've been treating me is making me sick. There's mold in the basement. There's a leak in the roof. And whenever I mention it, you deny the truth. Oh, darling, they gentrified the hood, and they kicked out all those tenants who are up to no good. They're building a shopping mall and a parking garage next door, and they tore down all those old houses that working people could afford. Oh, darling, it's a crying shame. You're so nice to my face. Behind my back, you're dealing a greedy game, oh landlord. You're picking on the poor. Take advantage of the desperate, and then you ask them for more. You're clearly the devil, wearing an angel's crown. And you go on smiling on vacation while making others frown. Darling, it's a crying shame. Do you feel anything at all? Are you numb to the pain, oh landlord? I got a bone to pick. The way you've been treating my city is making us all sick. There's mold in the basement. There's a leak in the roof. And whenever I mention it, you deny the truth. I think I should Habitat for Humanity was thinking about hiring me for a benefit concert because of that song at one point. Maybe should change the word, take the devil out of there just so I don't have my tires slashed or anything. But, Right. Yeah. You gotta be careful what you say on stage, I've learned recently, and I won't elaborate, but let's just say that sometimes you're suggesting more than you realize. Yeah. Okay. Oops, so sorry. So sorry. Okay. All right. This is by one of my favorite songwriters, the best songwriter to ever have walked planet Earth, Dolly Parton, my friends. Let's give her a round of applause. There's one person I'd like to have coffee with, one celebrity. It'd be her. I want to say, Dolly, tell me your songwriting secrets. She'll say, well, first of all, I wake up at 3 every morning, and I put my pen down. I don't pick it up till 4:30. That's probably the first thing she does. All right, and this is called Wildflowers Don't Care Where They Grow, because when you move a lot, you got to learn how to deal with that root shock. That's what this song's about. You just put roots down wherever you are. Well, the hills were alive with wildflowers, and I was wild, even wilder than they. Well, at least I could run. They just died in the sun, and I refused to just wither in place. Just a wild mountain rose needing freedom to grow. So I left fear and not where I'd go. When a flower grows wild, it can always survive. Wildflowers don't care where they grow. And the flowers I knew in the fields where I grew were content to be lost in the crowd. They were coming and close. I had no room for growth, and I wanted so much to branch out. I uprooted myself from my hometown and left, took my dreams and I took to the road. When a flower grows wild, it can always survive. Wildflowers don't care where they grow. I grew up fast and wild, and I never felt right in a garden so different than me. I just never belonged, and I longed to be gone. So one day the garden set me free. I hitched a ride on the wind, and since he was my friend, I just let him decide where we go. When a flower grows wild, it can always survive. Wildflowers don't care where they grow. Just a wild mountain rose seeking mysteries untold. So I left fear and not where I go. When a flower grows wild, it can always survive. Wildflowers don't care where they grow. So how I normally play guitar is like this. So I struggle sometimes to keep my fingers glued together in order to hold the pick. So thank you for witnessing me in my process. I did take a bluegrass guitar class this July, so this is kind of making me be like, oh yeah, I haven't been doing those exercises, have I? With the pick, with the flat pick. This is good practice. That was a good song for it. All right, let's see where else we're going to go. I'll do another old one for you. This one's called Sweet Fern, and this one the Carter family recorded, and they actually had a copyright dispute over the title. It used to be Sweet Bird, and then apparently there was maybe they probably stole the song from somebody, and they were like, you can't actually steal this song from us. And they said, well, yes, we can. We'll just change one word in it. Potentially. I mean, you know, they're very good people, but, you know, a lot of the songs they played, if not all of them, a majority of them, were other people's songs, traditional songs that they collected from all over the Appalachian Mountains and beyond. And from the black community, from the Native American communities, from all kinds of immigrant communities. They collected these songs and then kind of squished them into their Carter family brand, which later became bluegrass. But so here's one called Sweet Fern. Springtime is coming, sweet lonesome bird, your echo in the woodland I hear. Out in the meadow, so lonesome you're singing while the moonlight is shining so clear. And I know you're away in a far distant land, a land that's over the sea. Go fly to him singing your sweet little song and tell him to come back to me. Oh, I forgot to tell you, when I say sweet fern, you respond with sweet fern, okay? Sweet fern, sweet fern. Oh, tell me, is my darling still true? Sweet fern, sweet fern. I'll be just as happy as you. Tell me, sweet fern, is he thinking of me and the promise we made long ago? Said that I'd be his own little girl and love him wherever he'd roam. And I know he's away in a far distant land, a land that's over the sea. Go fly to him singing your sweet little song and tell him to come back to me. Sweet fern, sweet fern. Oh, tell me, is my darling still true? Sweet fern, sweet fern. I'll be just as happy as you. All right, this is the part where I practice yodeling publicly. Sweet fern, sweet fern. Oh, tell me, is my darling still true? Sweet fern, sweet fern. I'll be just as happy as you. I love that song. There's something about it.
Courthouse announcement, we've come to the portion of the night where the cake is now reduced to $3 a slice or 2 for $5. So
Oh.
you can be a hero. And here's your safety briefing, safety tip for the night. The more you weigh, the harder it is to kidnap you. So stay safe and eat cake. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Well, it's becoming that creepy time of year again, very, very steadily, isn't it? So I thought I'd do a murder ballad for y'all tonight, just to get in the mood. Something great about this one is that the man dies instead of the woman, which isn't all that common. You know, as far as it being like a marital dispute type of murder ballad, you know, there are plenty of men who die in murder ballads. Usually they get hung or, you know, something for a crime they didn't commit or whatever. There's some murder ballads about women who got hung for crimes they didn't commit too. And actually, a lot of these songs actually trace back to factual stories. This one undoubtedly came from over the sea, from, you know, the British Isles, probably. And it could be as old as medieval. We don't know. But it came over. It came over. The people to the Appalachian region, and it's morphed through time. It's called Young Hunting, and I learned it from my friend and mentor, Sheila K. Adams, who's a 7th-generation ballad singer from Western North Carolina. So I'll do my best not to completely creep you out. Hold on, I gotta remember how to play it first. Okay, I think that was right. It's been a year since it was like Halloween time, you know? No, I play this song other times too, but... Come in, my old true love, and spend this night with me. For I've got a bed, it's a very fine bed, and I'll give it up for thee. I'll give it up for thee. It's I can't come in, or I'm not coming in to spend this night with thee. For I've got a wife in the old Scotland. This night she waits for me. This night she waits for me. It's she cried out. It's she pulled out her little penknife, which was so keen and sharp, and she stepped it up to her own true love and stabbed him through his heart. She stabbed him through his heart. Isn't that sweet? She didn't even miss. Woe me, Lady Margaret, he cried. Woe be is unto thee, for there weren't no wife in the old Scotland that I loved any better than thee, that I loved any better than thee. It's she cried out to her servant girl, this thing I'll promise thee, if you'll help me on this dark night, my gown I'll give to thee, my gown I'll give to thee. It's she took up his long yellow hair, and the other took up his feet, and they throwed him into the old dry well, which was so cold and deep, which was so cold and deep. Remember the pick. Lay there, my own false love, till the flesh rots off of your frame, and your little old wife in the old Scotland will mourn for your return. Will mourn for your return. I left out about 5 verses for you. All right, I have just a couple more for you all. Thank you so much for having me. These next couple of songs I'm going to dedicate to my grandmother, who's, I think, probably as we speak, crossing into, other dimensions right now. She's 87 and turning 88 in a couple of weeks. Not sure if she's going to make it to her birthday, but some ways I kind of hope she doesn't hold on that long. So I'm going to do a few songs kind of in that vein of that special time in life when you're preparing for death. And this one isn't necessarily about that, but it can be translated to many phases of life. It's called You Will Be the Light, and it's by an Irish songwriter called Dolores Keane, who did a lot of work with Emmylou Harris, and I think she actually did like a trio with Emmylou Harris and not Linda Ronstadt, somebody. One of the, it was a trio with some of those three like kind of legendary. It might have been Dolly. No, I'm talking about Dolores Keane right now. She did one of those trios. It could have been Dolly. It could very well have. She was, she might have been played with them as well. Anyhow, look her up if you're interested. I believe she's still alive, actually. But I learned this one from Jerry Timlin, who's a songwriter from Ireland who came to play at Henderson Lawn every summer when I was growing up here at Virginia Tech. So I learned this song from him. You'll never be the sun turning in the sky, and you won't be the moon above us on a moonlit night. You won't be the stars in heaven, although they burn so bright. Even on the deepest ocean, you will be the light. You will be the light. You may not always shine as you go, prayerful through the storm, and you might be so long together, or you might walk alone. You may not find that love comes easy, but that love is always right. Even when the dark clouds gather, you will be the light. You will be the light. And if you lose a part inside and love turns round on you, leaving the past behind, is knowing you'll do like you always do, holding you blind, keeping you true. And you'll never be the sun turning in the sky. You won't be the moon above us on a moonlit night, and you won't be the stars in heaven, although they burn so bright. Even on the deepest ocean, you will be the light. You will be the light. You will be the light. Thank you. Let's see. This will be the pensive singer-songwriter portion of the evening. All right. I'm going to do another newer song. I guess I wrote this on ukulele, but I think I'll do it on guitar for you. I get really inspired by the winter to write. I don't know any artists out there feel similarly, but I actually crave winter. I grew up around here. I didn't grow up like in the north or anything where it's winter 9 months of the year. So this song I wrote during the winter and in 2021 when I lived way out in Floyd County. And there was lots of ice storms. I think we had about 4 that year. But this is kind of about that mysterious in-between place, whether it's passing on from this life or whether it's a major transition. And it's called The Mystery Abides. We're resting on the edge of what is yet to form, and we're looking out ahead, and the mystery abides. We're dancing at the top of dawn until we are born, and who we do become, the mystery abides. And slowly we are returning to the lessons of our yearnings. We're dancing in the dark as we peer on towards the light, with balance in our hearts, and the mystery abides. As we push off to sea and say our gentle goodbyes and sail into the storm, and the mystery abides. We lay down all our fears and the skies become clear, and our sails are flying high. Mystery abides, and slowly we are returning to the lessons of our learning. One, I give a gift, and two, you do receive. 3, we become love, and the mystery abides. And the mystery abides. Thank you. Oh, wow. It's time to wrap it up, everybody, but thank you so much. I've had a great time. This listening room is just, priceless to me. Been playing a lot of breweries and stuff, and this is just where I want to be, right here at 3rd Street Coffee House. So thanks again for having me. I'm going to do one more for you. And this is one from Hazel Dickens, a songwriter from West Virginia. She passed away, I think, in the 90s. But you may know her from the duo Hazel and Alice. They had a few hits in the kind of country bluegrass realm back in the 70s. This one's called Won't You Come and Sing for Me, and I'd love if you sing along, if you catch on. And it goes, sing those hymns we sang together in that plain little church with the benches all worn. How dear to our hearts, how precious the moments. We stood shaking hands and singing our songs. I feel the shadows now upon me, and fair angels beckon to me. Before I go, sisters and brothers, won't you come and sing for me? Sing those hymns we sang together in that plain little church with the benches all worn. How dear to my heart, how precious the moment we stood shaking hands and singing our songs. My burden's grown heavy, my weight has grown weary. I have traveled a road that is long. It would warm my heart, my dear sisters, if you'd come and sing me one song. Sing those hymns we sang together. Sing those hymns we sang together in that plain little church with the benches all worn. How dear to our heart, how precious the moment. Dear to my heart, how precious the moment that we stood shaking hands and singing our song. In my home beyond the dark river, your sweet face is no more I will see. Till we meet where there's no more sad parting, won't you come and sing for me? Sing those hymns we sang together in that plain little church with the benches all worn. Third Street Coffee House. How dear to my heart, how precious the moments that we stood shaking hands and singing our songs. How dear to my heart, how precious the moment that we stood shaking hands and singing our songs. Thank you so much. I'm Ash Devine. I'll see you around Parkway Brewing Company this coming Sunday, 1:30 to 4:30 with my trio. Actually, I'll have a couple musicians out. And check my website for upcoming dates. There's some more to come. I'm at Moon Hollow Brewing in Blacksburg on the 24th. That's the following Saturday. So we'll see you around. Thank you so much for coming. And let's give it up for the sound technician again. And all the staff and volunteers here at Third Street Coffee House.
All right, thanks so much to Ash Devine for coming and singing for us tonight and playing her songs. I, for one, really love it, and so I appreciate that. Thanks to everybody who came out tonight. Thanks to all those who have tuned in on Facebook. Next week, Wayne Willingham's coming to us. He's coming to us all the way from Fort Worth, Texas. Dan and Adonna Shore opening for him. The week after that, Sarah Trunzo is coming from Maine. And the last time she was down here, she opened up for Daryl Scott. So she's got some talent. And Mike Frankie's going to be opening up for her. It's going to be a great show. We're closing out on a really strong September, and we've got a really strong schedule for the rest of the year. Check out our Facebook page, the event listings, and you can see what's coming up. And we'll look forward to seeing you either here in the coffee house or on the live stream stage. That's all from 3rd Street Coffee House. Drive home safe. Come on back again. Thank you.